What's up YouTube, Peach Booty here again with a quick Stellar Blade update. This is a German interview that took place right around the time I had uploaded my last video, which was an entire news roundup of everything we had heard from Stellar Blade so far. So I thought I would cover it in a quick short video here. So basically the main thing that this interview went over that the other interviews didn't is talking about the different graphical options that are accessible at any time while in Stellar Blade. So like most games, there is a performance mode that will run at 60 frames per second, and then there's also a graphics mode that will be 4K. But the nice thing here is that there's a third option, a balance mode, that will dynamically locate a balance between the two above modes. That could be really good, depending on how it works, or I get it, depends on preference. If you just prefer graphics, obviously play on the graphics mode, and if you prefer the solid 60 frames per second, depending on how good the performance mode is, most people will go with that. But I could see myself going with the balance mode if it's done well. There have been other things that I've seen with fishing being in the game and other kind of random gameplay elements. But when it comes to the more technical side of things, the director Hyung Tae Kim also mentioned that Stellar Blade will use some of the unique features of the PS5, such as the touchpad and adaptive triggers on the DualSense controller. He said that Sony provided significant technical support during the development of the game because the history of this director and the people making Stellar Blade have had more experience in mobile games and didn't have a lot of experience developing, AAA titles like a Stellar Blade, which is obviously inspired by Nier Automata. The last big thing that this interview kind of goes over is the combat. And it's been talked about before how it's going to be kind of a mix of like a Devil May Cry kind of hack and slash with more of a strategic Souls element. And I personally really like the balance between the two, because sometimes Souls games can feel a little too slow or clunky for me. And then games that are very action heavy, like I think of a Final Fantasy 16 as well, almost feels a little too hack and slash, a little too button mashy for me. So it seems like this game, especially with the variety it has with some of the shooting elements, with the range combat, combined with the parries and the more close combat, aggressive style of gameplay, seems like it's going to have a good mix of both. And it also looks like you'll be able to swap the difficulty as well. So people that want more of a challenge or are potentially struggling with the action-based combat, they can raise or lower the difficulty depending on your preference. So that's pretty much it. I just wanted a short and sweet update for Stellar Blade. For more news about video game and video game ass, you can subscribe, like the video, do all the YouTube stuff, and I'll see you in the next one.